I just gotta start that knockout. That has to be one of the best knockouts you've seen or you've done in your life, right?
100%. I believe it's the first ever reverse spinning backfist knockout. Nobody showed me another one, and there's only 7 spinning backfist knockouts in the UFC. So that's definitely up there with the greatest of all time.
Yeah, I know we were talking before the fight. You said your back was against the wall. You needed this win. Now that you got it, like, how does it feel to get this win in the way you did it?
It's a relief, but that's exactly what I expected. Not the spinning backfist, but the way I was going to come out. I knew I was going to finish that fight. I didn't know how. I knew I was going to put the pressure on him and, you know, break him in the second or third round. I just didn't see it coming like that.
Yeah, that first round, it seemed it was kind of back and forth. He seemed to have a bit of the edge in the striking. Was that just you kind of pacing yourself for the 3 rounds? Because it seemed like he was starting to get tired late in the first.
Exactly, yeah. I didn't put up quite as much output as I would normally put in the first round, thinking I wanted him to be more tired than me going into the second. But the strikes I did land were I was deflecting, parrying 95% of his shots. There was 1 or 2 times where I threw something super heavy, and then he might have caught me in the moment when I left my hand down or something. But none of those shots were damaging whatsoever, and the shots I landed definitely took their toll.
Yeah, with this win, like, what's this win mean for you, given you're on the 2 fights? Like, do you think if you lost that, you wouldn't have been in the UFC come today?
Um, it was a major possibility, and losing that fight was not an option. I was gonna win or die. It was a kill or die type situation, and I was willing to do whatever it took. And say I would have dropped that fight. I would have done everything I could, but say I would have lost another decision in Mexico. That's not the end of the road for who I was or the trajectory I was on. I was going to continue to fight and work my way back to the UFC and accomplish my goals. One of my goals on my list is to become a household name in the sport of MMA. And I think with that knockout, I've done just that. I've reached so many people that don't even watch the sport of MMA through SportsCenter, ESPN, TMZ, Forbes. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody's seen it. Um, it's just incredible to finally come to fruition.
Yeah, and then you got the 50K performance bonus. Like, what's that like, and what's that mean for you and your family getting that?
Yeah, that's just the icing on the cake, really. A little extra security, but honestly, I plan on turning this into 10 times the amount I made that night. I made 90K that night. I want to make $1 million just off of that knockout. I plan on using that and using the newfound fame to expand my name outside of the sport, push endorsements, and chase my other dreams outside of the sport, such as acting, such as race car driving. I've been told I could do all these things very well. So, eventually, or soon now, I think now's the time to start pursuing those in a more real way.
Well, how important is that? Because you see a lot of fighters, they only worry about fighting, and when fighting's over, they don't know what to do with their lives, and they have nothing falling back on them. It seems like you already have a plan. You know what you want after fighting. Like, how important is that, do you think, for fighters and for their careers?
Yeah, you can't put yourself in a box. I am a fighter at heart. That's who I am. But I'm so much more than that as well. Um, I'm an entertainer. I'm an extreme athlete, and I'm a star now, so I can be whatever I want to be. And I'm pushing my brand. I'm a business owner. I think Fight Fit Lifestyle can definitely blow up, especially after something like this. And just growing outside of the sport and building an empire and making an impact that other people don't have the opportunity to make.
I know Safe wasn't in your corner, and I talked to him after, like, what was that like to get the win and show him that, like, that just like even when he wasn't there, just that you're the team and the coaches he's assembled to set up a perfect game plan for you, even when he's not there.
Yeah, he had 100% faith that I'd get the job done. I did as well, and I'm proud I was able to come through for the team. This win was huge for me in my career, but as far as the team, it was I couldn't let them down, and I felt like with those other losses, even though once it goes to the judges' scorecards, it's out of your control. So I had to take this one into my own hands and make sure I came through for my team.
With fighting in Mexico, obviously it had the higher elevation. Like, did that play a factor early on in the fight, or getting used to it, or were you comfortable like with the elevation and all that by the time the fight rolled around?
Yeah, it was really rough to get adjusted the first week I was there, but once I got adjusted, I felt like I was just fine. I just had to pace myself and make sure that I didn't overexert myself early in the fight so that I couldn't recover, because that's one thing that was impacted. I realized in my training was being able to recover in between rounds. It took longer. There's less oxygen there, so if you have too much output, then it would take too long to recover in between. So just not overexerting myself and then waiting for the right opportunity, and so I could turn it up in the second and then finish strong in the third.
You've had 3 fights this year. That's a lot of. That's what fighters typically say, 3 to 4. Are you going to take the rest of the year off? Or are you hoping to get back in there by the end of the year?
Honestly, I'd love to fight again by the end of the year. Sean said expect to have a little time off, but I'm staying in shape and I'm staying ready for a big opportunity. If somebody falls off one of these big cards, I'm the guy. I'll step in and I'll put on a show.
Is that weight cut, like, it's not huge where you can take these short notice fights if something comes up?
Yeah, it takes me 10 days to make weight, especially if I'm at home or, somewhere where I can get meal preps and things going for me. That was one thing that was different in Mexico is I had to go to a 5-star restaurant and ask them for pollo. Like, that's it was really hard to follow the guidelines of my strict diet. And but typically I'd be able to make the weight in 10 days, no problem.
I know the crowd took a lot of heat in that card for what they did, like after with Stevens and pouring the beer on Esparza. Like, was the crowd a factor in your fight at all? Like, you fighting the Mexican, or did you not really pay attention to it at all?
No, I love the crowd. They were honestly amazing. Aside from what they saw, what people saw on TV. Before the fight, there was Mexican fans outside of the hotel wanting autographs and pictures, and then after the fight, everybody was super cool with me, and I think I won over the Mexican crowd by speaking to them.
I know you just fought Caceres, but is that a fight you want to get back? Like, you would want to rematch him eventually down the line?
100%. I want them all back. Every one of my losses, I want to avenge. And, if I don't get to avenge it in the cage, then at the very least, I want to show that I'm better than that person that beat me at that time. They might have beat me in the past, but I've used those losses to grow as a person, to grow as a fighter, and in the long run, I'm going to come out on top.
With that win too, it was your first knockout win in the UFC, right? So what's that like to get a knockout win and the highlight reel knockout for your first one in the UFC?
Man, it's incredible. It's a dream come true. I knew I was capable, and I've been throwing that move since I was an amateur fighter. So I was 17 years old. I used to throw it with reckless abandon in training and like rock and hurt training partners with it. But I've learned to have a lot of control with it and, throw it and just tag guys. So learning to have that much control with the spinning back fist and finding it when you can actually throw it 100%, you can do some real damage with it.
At Fortis, there's a lot of featherweights, bantamweights. Like, how important is it like how important were they in your training camp now, and then you getting back into Fortis helping them for their upcoming fight? You guys really seem like a huge team atmosphere there, where right after someone's fight, it seems like they're right back in the gym helping the next person prepare.
Yeah, my team is vital to my success, and we have guys in all weight classes, but our divisions are stacked. 45, 35, 55. These are super stacked divisions, and we're all there for each other. So Monday I went right back to the gym, and it's a lifestyle. It's like, I didn't have to come back, but I wake up Monday morning, I'm like, what am I going to do? I'm going to do something I enjoy doing. And what do I enjoy doing? MMA rounds. I enjoy hanging out with my team and just being around that high-level environment and feeding off their energy. And it's like when you have that much energy coming off a win, it's like you're on fire. And everybody you touch around you gets that flame. They get that energy. They absorb it from you. And they can either suck it from you, like some people do if you go to the bar and you're with a bunch of lowlifes. They can take that energy from you, or you can go somewhere like Fortis MMA with the team, and we just feed off of each other because we're all fire. We're all on fire with that energy.
And then the team too, like it seems like you guys really all care about each other. It's a really family atmosphere. Like, and then obviously you guys are on a huge winning streak and a lot of wins compared to the loss in the UFC. Like, how big not only was that win for yourself, because you already touched on that, but for the team and keeping that winning streak alive?
Yeah, I couldn't let them down, man. I couldn't be the one to drop the ball. Everybody, like, they handed it off to me this week. I just handed it off to Macy, and right now that ball's on fire, and she needs to hold it down, and I believe she will. And then after that, we'll hand it off to Span and Morono, and they'll hold it down in Tampa. So, nobody wants to drop that ball. We all want to keep this thing going, and the sky's the limit. We're going to have champions in the next year or two.
Oh, yeah, I think there's a real shot, like Macy, Jeff, Alonzo, they all got, like, I don't get why Jeff isn't in the rankings, but that's a topic for another day. But with Safe, too, like, I know he wasn't in your corner, but how vital is he to this camp helping you? Because this seems like his game plan. Whenever I talk to him, like, he'll say, like, this is the game plan for this fight, and it seems every fight, that's what happens, and the game plan turns out to work every single time. Like, how important is he as your head coach, like, setting the game plan?
Yeah, he's the one that makes it a reality, Like, we have to go out there and do it, but he says this is how you're going to do it, and we practice it, we see it, we visualize it, we believe it, and we do everything we can, and it just happens.